What's up, my people? Today we are talking about how to be less defensive when it comes to criticism. Am I right? It's excruciating. Getting criticized is freaking excruciating. But does it have to be? That's the question we're going to talk about and answer today. While you're here, drop me a little comment. Let me know what you think. Is this a topic that's resonating for you? Do you struggle with this? Drop me a note. I love your comments. I read them every time. And while you're here, smash that subscribe button. Do yourself a solid and don't miss an episode. All right, let's dive in. So let's talk about criticism. Listen, here's the thing. I don't know of any human that just is born just loving criticism. Criticism sucks. I mean, listen, you would be weird if you didn't hate criticism on some level. The question is, are you interested in growing? If you're interested in growing, if you're interested in excellence, if you're interested in going beyond where you are right now, there is no way to get there without embracing helpful and constructive criticism. What do I mean by helpful and constructive? Look, not all criticism was made equal. For example, when I talk to my husband about my work and the stuff that I make, the content that I make, the talks I give, sometimes he'll be like, that doesn't resonate for me. And the fact is, he's not my audience. So his criticism, some of it can be helpful. A lot of it is not, because that is not my target audience. He is not from an industry or a space that would ever bring in somebody like me to speak. So when he has criticism, he will say to me, babe, you're asking me for feedback. I'll give it to you. But remember, I am not your target audience. So any criticism I have for you may not be useful. And he's right. And I know that he's right. And I know that I have to listen to that criticism through a filter. So that's an example of where somebody might be giving you criticism, but it's not useful because they're not the audience, right? For example, if you are creating content for a female audience and a man has a lot of criticism and feedback for that content, that's not really going to help you because your audience is women. Better to ask for criticism, constructive criticism from women, from inside your target audience, right? So when I say the word criticism, the only kind of criticism you want to get really good at accepting is constructive. Not all criticism deserves to be taken, okay? Part of your job is discerning what's good criticism and bad criticism. But let's pretend like the criticism is totally valid and really good for you to hear, but also so freaking painful and excruciating you want to hide under a rock or you want to yell, because sensitivity to criticism exists on a spectrum, beloveds, right? At one end of the spectrum, you might react to criticism by curling up in a little tiny armadillo ball, right? And hiding from it because you're so freaking mortified and embarrassed. Or you might be like, oh yeah? You're criticizing? Okay, well, you want to criticize me? I'm going to criticize you, right? That's all a spectrum of sensitivity. What does it look like when you step out of that spectrum and into a place where you can actually perceive, receive, sift through the criticism and take it with strength and groundedness and courage? What does that look like? Well, listen, I'm speaking as someone who hates criticism. I tend to curl up in a little tiny armadillo ball when I get criticized. I am not the kind that screeches and screams. I curl up in a little tiny armadillo ball. And what I have done to stop doing that so that I can get stronger and better and my excellence can just grow and get stronger and bigger and more fabulous. Two things. One, I get into a certain mode of listening when there's criticism coming. What do I mean by that? Listen, we have different energies we use throughout the day, right? There's the energy of doing. There's the energy of creating. There's the energy of participating, supporting, all these different energies we play with as communicators every day. There is a very specific energy signature to listening to criticism from a place of strength, right? I like to think of myself as a detective showing up on a crime scene like, Let's evaluate. Let's look at that. Interesting. Okay. I'm not going to let my emotions run away with me. I'm just going to look so that I don't miss any clues. And that's the space I inhabit when somebody's giving me constructive criticism. I listen, not through the lens of I'm going to take this personally, but through that sort of emotionally neutral place of just raw perception, raw gathering of data and intel. I can sift through it and figure out what's useful later. Right now, my job is to pay very close attention and capture as much data as I can. And if I don't understand what the criticizer is saying to me, I ask them to clarify. And then I repeat back to them what they said to me so that I am absolutely sure that what I've heard is correct. Because a lot of times when we receive criticism, we are listening through the filter of fear and the filter of outrage and the filter of how dare they, which means we're missing a whole bunch of information. So I like to say things like, okay, what I heard, first of all, thank you for your criticism. You always want to start with a thank you. Second of all, you want to say, let me make sure I got this right. Can I play it back to you? And they'll say, oh my God, yes. People love being listened to and heard. So you play it back to them. Have I got that right? And then allow them to adjust what you've gotten wrong. Like my friend, Joel Peters, actually scratch that. He's not my friend. He's an absolute dream of a mentor, but he's not my friend. Okay. As the amazing Joel Peterson says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So maybe you might need a little mantra tucked into your mind that's guiding you through the conversation. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, right? So let's say you get all the criticism you can get, then you take it and you figure out which pieces of the criticism are truly useful and helpful. What you may notice is that you may be dealing with someone who has no specific criticism. They're just throwing shade at you. They're just criticizing with non-specifics. They're just making you feel bad with no real direction. That is not helpful criticism. It's not helpful criticism. You have an invitation, you have an opportunity to go back and say, hey, in order for criticism to be helpful, it has to be specific, and I'm not getting that specificity from you. Do you think you might be able to give me an example? Do you think you might be able to be a little bit more specific? You are allowed to ask for that. And if someone has a big explosion and says, you should know, what you're dealing with is someone who is gaslighting you, or someone who hasn't done the work on their end and they're blaming you for their intellectual imprecision. Ooh, yes, that's what they're doing. So don't take that. Do not take that. Ask very kindly, but ask for specifics. And what will happen when you get really good at receiving criticism is if it hurts and it's painful, you can process it after the fact. Process it in private. It hurts like hell. It's not going to stop hurting like hell. That's the human experience. Welcome. There are many of us here with you. But it will make you stronger. It will develop you in every capacity you can think of, and it will signal to the outside world that you are strong and not to be trifled with. Because people that are strong enough to hold constructive criticism are the people that get raises, that get promotions, that get the big budget activities. I'm telling you, get ready, because your life's about to get real good. That's it for this week. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I love hearing from you guys. And listen, if you really struggle with conflict, go take my No Enemy Conversation class. Get good at tough conversations. noenemy.bronwyncommunications.com. Shine on. We need your light. I'll see you next time.